Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I'm Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we're going to welcome one of our franchise partners and one that is in a really rapidly growing segment in the fast food and kind of the food and beverage industry. Now, this is typically an industry that comes with this huge investment, massive overheads that can scare a lot of people away. But today's guest brings us one of the franchises in this space that really has a lower investment, yet does not sacrifice the amazing potential revenue that you can have as an owner. So excited to get to them. So let's bring on our guest. Our featured franchise is called Pure Green. And joining us today is not just some random dude that works there. He is the founder, the CEO. He is all things to Pure Green. Ross Franklin. Ross, thanks for joining us today.
Tim, thanks so much for having me on.
I am definitely excited to chat with you, learn a little bit more. I know we've chatted a handful of times over the years, and we had one of our kind of FranCoach, one of our other team members. Well, maybe this summer we just had brought you a new owner that'll be popping up in Dallas, I think, early in 2024. So excited to hear this and want to learn all about Pure Green, but I like the people side of the business. And so tell us a little bit. Again, this isn't you're not just some employee. This is your baby, man. Tell us a little bit about how this all even came about for you with Pure Green and then turning that into a franchise.
Absolutely. So I started Pure Green back in 2014 in New York City, one of the most competitive cities in the world. And, we grew it, fast forward to today, we now have over 100 units that are either open or in development. And kind of, it all started with my background's in fitness. And I used to be in the gym industry, opening up high-end health clubs all over the United States. I owned my own gym, sold it, started a consulting company, and started consulting for high-end gyms, specialty boutique gyms, yoga studios, Pilates studios, and juice bars. And it came to the realization that when you look at optimal health, 80% of getting results is weighted in nutrition. And that became the foundation behind starting Pure Green, where our mission is to build healthier communities around the globe by connecting people with superfoods. And so we have a small footprint. So our stores are 500 square feet to 1,300 square feet. Sweet spot is about 1,000 square feet. And we sell superfood smoothies, acai bowls, and cold pressed juice.
Okay, so let's pretend that there's somebody out there that's like, what the hell is acai? So what give us a little bit more, and again, maybe some other people know this or everybody knows this, and I was the last one to the party a year or so ago with acai, but what the heck is that?
So acai is a Brazilian superfood that's very high in antioxidants. And it comes in, we serve it in sorbet form. So it looks like a sorbet. However, a big point of difference where if you go to your local mom and pop juice bar, or you go to, any one of our competitors, watch them make the acai bowl. You'll see them make it very quickly. The reason is you'll see them scooping it out of a bucket, and it's full of stabilizers, emulsifiers, and all kinds of gunk. Our acai bowls are handcrafted, made to order, takes a little bit longer, but you can taste the difference. Loaded with nutrition, has 4 times less the amount of sugar compared to our competitors. And that's a big point of difference for us.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you said cold pressed juices. So tell the uneducated cold pressed juicer what that might be.
So cold pressed juice involves using hydraulic presses that retain the vitamins, minerals, and live enzymes from the fresh fruits and vegetables. Cold pressed juice has about 5 times the amount of nutrition compared to juice made on the centrifugal or centrifugal juicer. Those are the juicers you'll see if you go to the deli and those making those loud noises. Cold pressed juice using hydraulic presses has 5 times the nutrition. And we do a process to it called HPP, which stands for high pressure processing. And that is where we use water pressure that locks in the nutrition, and it gives it a 60 plus day shelf life from the point that it's manufactured. And it results in not having any waste and allows our franchise partners to not have to deal with the hassles of juice manufacturing.
So many questions just popped into my head right there. But one is, Ross, how in the holy hell did you figure all of this out?
Yeah, I mean, great question. So for me, I'm all about just optimal results. How do we get the best results from superfoods? And so I went out and just sought out the highest quality superfoods, formulated all the recipes, did a ton of research, went to all kinds of anti-aging conferences, and it took me years to really come up with what we now have as our formulations. But a lot of work went into it, carefully curated, every ingredient, but spoke to, all the industry experts and really went out of my way to create formulas that, one, taste amazing, and two, are a nutritional powerhouse, to the point where now we have a nutritional advisory board with 4 top tier dietitians. 3 are dietitians for professional sports teams, and 1 is a dietitian for the US military. We also have a wholesale division for the cold pressed juice, where we sell the juice to over 50 professional sports teams, 30 college teams, and even SpaceX is one of our largest clients.
Which is great. And when you and I were at a conference here, maybe six weeks ago or so, and got a chance to meet face to face, for just crazy in franchising, we hardly ever see each other face to face, right? And so got to meet you and your way better half than you, right? So but one of the things you told me, and I love, and I want to come back to some of the partnerships you have with like the sports teams and things, but you're in hotels also. You were giving me crap. You're like, dude, go try one of these. They're right there in the hotel lobby as well. That's amazing.
That's right. So with our wholesale division, we work with a lot of high-end hotels, airlines, in addition to the professional sports teams. And it's amazing for brand presence. It's amazing for our franchise partners to have the guests already be familiar with the brand. They may have had it at a hotel or at an airport. Then they see the Pure Green logo and it drives them into the store. So it's a way to create additional traffic flow for our franchise partners.
Yeah, you guys, I know you guys are hovering around 100 locations open and in development, but it's almost like exponential brand presence with all of those, or that you can name drop. And I'm trying to think back. I think we're at a Hilton property at the location, right? And so to be able to know that you're there, or be able to name drop, any number of the sports teams or college teams or SpaceX or whatever that you're working with, is just, oh, you haven't heard of Pure Green? Well, have you heard of, right? And it's a long list of things that you have that partnership with. It's a really instant credibility for owners right away as they're getting started. Is that correct?
That's right. It really gives the brand super credibility to be able to name drop, all the sports teams that we work with. SpaceX, if you watch the documentary about SpaceX on Netflix, you see our juice everywhere. A lot of celebrities are seen with our products. A lot of professional athletes are seen with our products. So it's great for trust and credibility with the brand. And when you think about like who the most the toughest gatekeepers are, it's really the dietitians for the professional sports teams. I mean, they're researching all the science. They have to calculate all of the calories, the caloric intake, all the nutrients for the athletes. That's their job. And so they're the ones who scrutinize the nutrition the most. And so for us to be in over 50 professional sports teams, it really speaks very highly of the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on this before, and certainly your background in fitness. And many decades ago, I was a college athlete. And so yes, people were going to work out and we're trying to do better about that. But it doesn't do you any good if you go get 4 Big Macs right after, I went to the gym for an hour. Awesome. What did you eat right afterwards? Right. Big Mac value meals probably just like counterbalanced everything that you just did. So being able to then kind of tap into, again, the education piece of how we do it, but not just, and again, you said something earlier, I didn't even really know that, it's not just acai I'm guessing mom and pop acai is better than a Big Mac, but it's not better than what you guys are bringing to the table based on all of that research. So you're really presenting a very, very high quality product that I'm guessing is going to bring back very loyal repeat customers into your locations as well, correct?
That's right. I mean, when you look at just optimal performance, nutrition plays the greatest role. And a lot of people are focusing so much on the fitness component, but it's really nutrition that makes the biggest impact. So that's where we come in.
Awesome. You and I may need a side conversation about my diet and nutrition. So we'll come back to that. So for an owner, and I know every franchise has, hey, these are our kind of main things, but there's a broad range of backgrounds where people come into play. What are some things you're really looking for in owners? Maybe kind of personality traits. Obviously, they got to have some passion for health and fitness, right, and wellness. But also kind of talk a little bit about what they're doing on a daily basis as the owner.
Yeah, great question. The biggest thing that we look for in franchisees is having a passion for health and wellness. That alignment with our mission to build healthier communities around the globe is the most important thing that we look for in potential franchisees. Then on a day-to-day basis, our model is very streamlined. So the day-to-day life for a franchisee really is just being there to build the culture of the stores, support the guest experience, really work with the team members and just build a culture of warm, friendly, and engaging guest experience. That's the most important thing that a franchise partner can do, because aside from that, all the franchise partners do is just follow the systems. Everything else is very streamlined.
Hey everyone, I want to pause the show for a moment to spotlight one of our premier franchise partners, Superior Fence and Rail. If you're looking for a standout franchise opportunity that is dominating an in-demand niche, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. As the first fence installation franchise in the United States, this brand boasts over 50 territories in 15 states and literally installs millions of feet of fence every single year. Superior Fence owners can jump into the business full-time from the start, but they can also start out as semi-absentee owners. You can begin with a single territory or build an empire by owning multiple territories. As part of the Empowered Brand suite of franchises, Superior Fence and Rail owners are equipped with unmatched support and proprietary technology that sets them apart from what amounts to be really very fragmented competition. Superior Fence also has numerous partnerships with well-known home improvement retailers that will provide products at a reduced cost, which helps increase your margins as an owner. Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, if you'd like to learn more about becoming a Superior Fence and Rail owner, reach out to the FranCoach team today so we can help create your better tomorrow. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a quick break from our podcast to tell you about our amazing friends at Entrepreneur. If you're looking to become a franchisee or simply learn more about business ownership, and guys, let's be honest, you're listening to the Franchising 101 podcast, so we know you have some interest in this. And I really encourage you to go to entrepreneur.com to check out all of their great content and resources. Seriously, Entrepreneur has everything, all the way from a bookstore to the best podcasts, webinars, and videos, plus information on upcoming events and the latest articles that seriously, they cover all aspects of franchising and business ownership. If you're having trouble deciding which franchise is right for you, start with Entrepreneur's renowned Franchise 500 ranking, which highlights the best franchises of 2022. For 45 years and counting now, Entrepreneur has been and continues to be the most widely recognized and respected authority in the franchise market. Digital and print subscriptions are available, so you never miss out on anything. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Go to entrepreneur.com right now and learn more. And I'm guessing being it, whether it's the owner or having somebody on their staff, get out in the community, really kind of connect, create awareness of Pure Green and where you are, but what you're providing for the customers as well is going to be key too, correct?
Absolutely. And another perk that we have, because we work with so many of the professional sports teams, when we open in any given state, we have a relationship with the team, and so the local franchise partner is able to do catering for the sports teams and supply all the smoothies and the acai bowls for the team or the stadium, the college team as well. So that's another big benefit of being a franchise partner. But engaging the local community, is something that, that's a part of our mission. And so our franchise partners that are able to get out there and do the outreach, network with other business owners, and really build that sense of community, really, really helps that store flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned catering. So, because I think this is probably something people wouldn't necessarily think of. Give us an example of catering, or what a catering event would be, or who the catering customer would be for Pure Grain.
Yeah. So the way we look at catering is it's really icing on the cake. The bulk of revenue is coming from in-store traffic, followed by third-party delivery. We work with Uber Eats and DoorDash. And then we have catering gigs, especially in areas where there's a lot of office buildings. Some of these catering gigs take place on a weekly basis, and it's where the catering gig will include, a ton of smoothies, acai bowls. It could potentially be making them on site, but it's mostly we work with a company called Easy Cater that'll actually come in, pick everything up, and take it to the event. So it makes things very easy for the franchise partner.
Awesome. You talked about all of the things that go into creating the product, right? And the science and the research and everything that's gone into that. Are the owners themselves doing this at their locations every day, every week? Is it shipped into them? What does that look like?
So, the bulk of our products include the superfood smoothies. That makes up the bulk of the business, followed by the acai bowls. The cold pressed juice and shots is a much smaller percentage of the business. And then catering, is just like, ancillary. It's just, again, icing on the cake. But so our franchise partners are mostly just selling smoothies and acai bowls. We're really like a smoothie and acai bowl company. And the cold pressed juice is really just kind of like an add-on, which helps to increase the average ticket.
Gotcha. Very cool. And we can do all of this out of, obviously we need a retail space, but it's a really small footprint for this, which allows your owners to really, again, get started with in retail space about as low of an overhead and footprint as possible, right? So what's that size typically look like for your locations?
So when you look at like Class A real estate, super busy streets, we can go as low as 500 square feet, which really helps to keep the rent down. But for the most part, the average square footage is about 1,000 square feet. And then in areas where, depending on availability, sometimes it's 1,200, 1,300 square feet, we can make that work as well. Largest store is probably about 1,800 square feet.
Gotcha. Okay. Very, very nice. So easy to be able to find. And then it's pretty common for most people, and I'm sure you hear this with people coming through that you're talking to. Oh my gosh, I've never had to find commercial real estate before. How do I do that? Talk about some of the support mechanisms that you guys are bringing to the table to help in that process.
Yeah, so we offer full service support. For the site selection process, we have a real estate partner called Locate.ai, and they are an amazing team. They analyze all the demographics, the psychographics. They're looking at mobile phone data to see the movement patterns. And they work with our franchise partners who are in the site selection process to identify the absolute best real estate. And the way we look at it is it's a team sport. So we work together with the franchisee to find that home run location. We get the data from the Locate team, which helps to verify our gut intuition. Really what we're looking at, though, is the tenant anchor mix. So it's who our neighbors are. And so the certain brands that we like to open up next to, we like big box gyms, high-end supermarkets. We like brands, like Starbucks, like Kava, like Sweet Green, Shake Shack, make for amazing anchors. And they're not everywhere, but pretty much anywhere in the country you could find, high-end supermarket. It's a high-end center. There's some gyms, some specialty boutique gyms, and that makes for an amazing Pure Grain location.
Yeah, if for people, which basically probably everybody listening to this has never been inside seeing what the mapping software is like for franchises or for the commercial real estate, it is creepy how much information that they have with that, right? But then also understand this is a brand that, like, we're not like going into the old Kmart Plaza, right? There's going to be, right? There's, and we've had the folks at Exponential Fitness on, right? Their boutique fitness. You're gonna have one of here's a Pure Bra, here's a Sprouts, here's a Whole Foods, right? It's like it's that, and every community is going to have those because that's going to be your customer, because they're probably looking to do things at a slightly healthier level than, right? Let me go get a bunch of processed stuff at McDonald's and Walmart, which we've probably all done at some point in our lives, but it's a different demographic. So that level of support is fantastic. Talk about some of the other things that you guys are doing support wise, training, support, marketing. All I know there's a long list, but give us kind of a quick overview of some of those key points.
It starts with the site selection process, which we talked about. And they're also really good at helping to negotiate the best terms for the lease. So when it comes to the LOI process, like our real estate team is great at, one, getting the lowest rent possible, two, negotiating as much TI, tenant improvement allowance as possible, which helps to offset the total amount of capital, and three, lowest possible limited guarantee, and 3 months after the store opens. Then what we do is we guide the franchise partner through working with our national architect, get the plans done, get the permits applied for. And this usually happens before even signing a lease. We help the franchisee bid out, finding the right general contractor. And we like to hit the ground running as soon as that lease is signed. After that, there's 2 weeks of dedicated training. 1 week takes place here at our company headquarters in Sunrise, Florida, where we built out an entire store just for training. And then the other week takes place 1 week before the store opens. Our team goes on site to our franchise partner location, trains their entire team, gets them ready for grand opening. And then our marketing team works with the franchise partner on the grand opening playbook to make sure it's a massive grand opening line out the door. And our team doesn't leave until the store is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, pretty awesome, right? I always think there's pretty much nothing as a franchise owner you have to completely figure out from scratch. It is, and you said this earlier, like follow the dang plan, right? With this and knowing that you're going to have that. And I always think it's important for people to remember the marketing doesn't start day one, right? You've got, I'm going to guess 60, 90 days prior to being open. We're already starting all the different kind of marketing channels going on, not to mention just a big coming soon sign right outside as you're doing that. So to try to have that big grand opening where you got the line out the door, you've created that buzz and that excitement where people can't wait for you to be open. So super cool with that. One thing I want to go back to the owner, and not every franchise is okay with this. Are you guys open to having somebody that is a semi-absentee owner?
So that's something that we are open to, with under the terms that, we find that the first 90 days are absolutely mission critical in how that store ramps up. So we do require that the franchise partner is there daily for the first 90 days. And then after 90 days, we find that that's enough time to really get the store fully ramped up. And at that point, the franchise partner can hire a full-time general manager to run the day-to-day operation of the store. And that's a good jumping off point for them to go on and work on unit number 2.
Right. Which I was going to say, which is the other piece of this, is that I'm guessing a lot of your owners are really looking at that scale of thinking, hey, this is super cool. I got a huge passion for it. I see it's just going to be something that's going to continue to grow, that we are trying to become healthier individuals as a society slowly, but we're working towards that, right? But also seeing this is a small footprint and a pretty low investment for something that's retail. I can have multiple of these around an area. So are you getting a good chunk of people that are looking to do that, to be that kind of empire builder with your brand?
Absolutely. I mean, our goal is to maximize profitability for our franchise partner, show them that, hey, we always encourage everyone to start with 1 unit, see that the revenue's there, see that the profit's there, see what your experience is like working with us, to feel that full service support. And we're confident that 3 months down the road after they have that location open, they're going to want to do the next unit. And then we also have big groups that come in where they know for certain that they want to have, a larger territory that they know they want to develop. So we have the area developer model where they can come in and buy a 3-pack, and we'll space it out over 3 years. So they have a year in between to solidify those locations. So, but we always encourage everyone, hey, start with one, see what the process is like, and take it from there.
So I got 2 last things I want to throw at you. And one is, if somebody's listening to this and thinking, hey, I'd like to try a product, but there's not one of these right near me. You mentioned it is possible to get some of this basically kind of shipped to us. Is that correct?
That's right. We do have, if you go to our wholesale site, which is puregreen.com, our website for the franchise, puregreenfranchise.com. On puregreen.com, you do have the availability to have it shipped to you. It is a little bit extra for shipping, but that's a good way to at least try the product and try the cold pressed juice. But the real deal is coming into the store, feeling that in-store experience, and really trying our core products, which are the superfood smoothies and the acai bowls.
Yes, that's what I want. Okay, so how do the kind of last thing, and then I'll let you roll, because I know you're busy, and this is a loaded question with a lot of different ways I'm sure you could answer. But if there was anything else you would want people to know about Pure Green that we haven't talked about, what would you want to share with us?
I would just say the best thing I would encourage everyone to do is try our products. Just come in, try a smoothie, try an acai bowl, and see what your experience is like. That really says everything that people need to know.
Yes, which also speaks to the confidence you have that they're going to enjoy it once they come in there, right?
That's right. That's the idea.
Awesome. Can we guarantee my 10-year-old is going to like it?
Absolutely.
Do we have chicken nuggets or hot dogs on the menu if we come to Pure Green?
Not quite, but the smoothies and acai bowls and everything else is so good, they won't even be thinking about that.
I'll just lie to him and tell him it's mixed in, right? So all good stuff, man. Ross, thank you so much for coming on. I am just super excited about what you guys have going, and I know it's going to continue to be a massive success, and we're happy to have you on today.
Thanks so much for having me on.
We appreciate it. And as always, for all of our loyal podcast listeners, thanks for tuning in. Check us out, francoach.net, franchising101podcast.net. If Pure Green sounds like a fit for you, or any of the other 600 plus franchises we work with, there's no fee for our service. Reach out, schedule that first call today, and let us help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.